Alright, what's up? So for this video, I just wanted to tie up some loose ends from previous videos about Ayurveda. So the first thing I wanted to do is review the theory of the five winds. So I already talked about the prana, which is what you do when you inhale. And when you inhale the prana, which is in the oxygen and the air, it comes in and it comes in going downwards towards your base of your spine, and it goes towards apana, which is a downward moving wind, and it strengthens it. And then when you exhale, um, apana then comes back up, because apana is the negative pressure that controls respiration, or enforces respiration, provides the force for respiration. So apana comes back up when you exhale, and it meets prana, and then prana comes back down to meet apana. That's how it works. But anyway, that's prana, and then there's udana, which has to do with the upward moving, exhaling air going through your throat and so forth, having to do with speech, having to do with energy and inspiration. Whereas prana is to do with more about absorption, including absorption of knowledge from what you observe. Then there is, so I already talked about apana, which has to do with the elimination and grounding. Um, and it controls all the others because it's the most powerful one. It's where wind is generated, and wind is usually downward moving in our body. Um, and then there's samana, which is in the gut, in the stomach area, near the stomach, and it has to do with the balancing force. It balances digestion. It basically has to do with digestion. So because vata is the communication, it tells the gut when to be hungry, and when you get hungry and you smell food and see food and start eating, it basically controls all the electrical stuff going on, and the electrochemical stuff going on in your digestive process. So that's what's samana, or the equalizing wind. And then there's the circulating wind, or vyana. Now samana is in the digestive system, but vyana is located in the heart and the blood vessels, the circulatory system, basically. So vyana is stimulated by, so samana is stimulated by or balanced by digestive herbs and good food, whereas vyana is balanced by massage and exercise, and also certain pungent spices like cinnamon or ginger, that get that are good for circulation. Garlic, especially, yeah, garlic. Um, so that's Vyana. That's a circulatory wind. It has a spiral force, and it starts at the heart. So that makes sense if you think about it, because the heart, the electrical currents that automatically work in the heart, they are shaped like kind of like a spiral shape. And then the circulation, if you think about your body, is like a spiral. It's going spiraling all over your body. So that's Vyana. It's stimulated by exercise and massage and um, herbs, spicy herbs in the diet, I believe. So that's the five winds that I was talking about. Now let's move on to the pranayama. So I already talked about how raisins soaked overnight, eating it first thing in the morning, are very good, or after you're drinking water and everything, but the first food in the morning are good for addiction. But breathing therapy is good generally for your nervous system and your circulatory and your respiratory system and your nervous system. So deep breathing is taking deep breaths, holding it a little bit, and then exhaling slowly through your nose. But then you can also do the Sital pranayam, which is the cooling breathing exercise, which is the one with the tongue out, and you inhale or like this, and hold it in, and they lock their neck. They lock the neck to hold it in better, and then they slowly release it through their nose. So you take a good speed when you're inhaling, but you slowly release through your nose. So that's the cooling breathing technique. Good for smokers and people in hot climates. And then next is the alternate nostril breathing. So what you do is you close one nostril, take a deep breath in. You don't have to hold it too long, and you switch nostrils after taking the breath, and then you exhale through the opposite nostril. And you inhale through that same opposite nostril, and then you switch again and exhale through the other nostril. So you always take a breath and then you switch nostrils. And go to the other nostril, exhale, and then inhale again through that same nostril, and then switch again because now you have inhaled, so now you gotta exhale through the other nostril. So that's called alternative nostril breathing, and you can do that slowly from 1 minute or half a minute, starting to like 5, 10, even longer, 15 minutes if you want. But it's very relaxing, very supposed to be very good for the nervous system. So try it out regularly, and you'll see a difference. And then after that, a good exercise for really calming the mind is supposed to be called a bumblebee breathing exercise, or Brahmari. What you do is you close your use your thumbs to close your ears, and you put your finger on your eye, above your eye, then above your nose or on your nose, then on your lip or your taste bud, tongue, representing your tongue, and then on your chin, representing your touch or your skin. And or whatever you can do. You could do it like this, or even like this, or like this, or whatever. But this is just one way. And then you take a deep breath in. It's like smoking weed and getting really, really high, and being on shrooms at the same time. So it's a really powerful, calming experience, really. Um, but that's called a bumblebee, okay? It's supposed to calm and totally purify your nervous system. And you feel really exhilarated and calm and peaceful after you do it. Especially after you do it after the nostril, alternative nostril breathing, at the end of your breathing and exercise sessions. So another exercise is just holding it in while it's complete, and locking your neck and holding it in for a minute or so, or however long, and then slowly releasing it through your nose. You can do it with your mouth if you're in a hot um, condition, or you can do it with your nose regularly. And that's called, what is that called? Udan pranayam or something like that. But I can't remember. But it's called when you complete full respiration. And then you can also do the same exercise when you empty your respiration, and you can just meditate on that, or hold your breath when it's empty. And that's supposed to be more of a cleansing thing. So if you're already a little weak, you shouldn't try it. But if you are trying to lose something, body fat or toxins or whatever, you could, or shit in your stomach, you could do that. And not only that, but you can even pull your stomach in and out, in and out, in and out, with your back straight, of course. And that's another thing to do while your breath is empty and you're holding it in. And I forgot the name for that. I think it's called a something to do with the stomach, pranayam. Jalandhar or something. Well, Jalandhar is actually when you are holding it, I believe, empty. But yeah, those some pranayams. Another very popular one is called Kapalbhati, which is called skull shining. But unfortunately, with the darkness, I can't show it to you right now. But basically, what it is this. So with your back straight, and you'll have to see it, Kapalbhati on YouTube. to see Baba Ramdev doing it or something. But what he's doing is he's basically doing sit-ups without doing sit-ups. So he's pushing the air out of his stomach, not breathing out normally, but with using consciously using his stomach to breathe out and pushing the air out through the stomach. And that's supposed to be a good exercise for all your internal organs and also your brain, because it's putting repeated pressure on your gas humor, your channels in the body, and it activates certain things in your body. So that's called the skull shining or Kapalbhati pranayam. All right, so those are the basic pranayams for you. There's a couple others for certain special conditions, like for example, you could always take a deep breath in, hold your nose and your mouth closed, and then do Kapalbhati pranayam, but don't let any air out, just blow it out of your ear. So, and you feel that pressure on your eardrum, and that's supposed to be good for your ear channels and the gas humor, because that has to do with the space which the ear represents, the space element. Okay then, so I think that's pretty much it. Those are the things I believe that I was supposed to cover and didn't finish covering in the last video. Oh, sorry. So for addiction, all of these breathing techniques are great. But another one, well, especially is good holding it in when the air is full, and the left nostril, or the moon pranayam, which means the moon strengthening pranayam, or the I forgot the Hindi word for it, but anyway, Somya pranayam, maybe, I don't know. But you hold your masculine side or your right nostril closed, and you breathe regularly through your left nostril. So if you do too many intoxicants, you will notice that your left side nostril is not going to work as well as often as your right nostril is, and that's bad for your system, because that means your system is overheating. So what you need to do is do all these breathing techniques so you can ease off the substance you're abusing. And this breathing technique and the raisins have been the most effective ones in my opinion, and also the deep breathing and holding the breath in when it's full. Those really strengthen you. And also, never take a substance in high doses. For example, if you smoke weed, always mix it with tobacco or something like that, or even just some cloves or some spices that are meant to be smoked, or some mullein, which is good for the lungs, or mints. You could mix it in your joints and reduce the possibility of taking a very high dose and therefore getting addicted more easily. With alcohol, you only eat it with food. You only drink it with foods, with your meals, especially if you can, or with a snack in the daytime. So that's the rule for alcohol. And also know which alcohol to drink. For example, wine, red wine, or white wine, actually, sweet wines are better for the gas humor, and maybe the bile humor too, the sweet wines. And the spicy sweet wines are best for the gas humor. And the spiciest and the driest wines are better for the phlegm humor. So everything makes sense when you understand the philosophy of the humors, or the doshas, the blemish. Once you understand the blemish, you can treat the disease. So that's the idea behind Ayurveda. So I think I'm forgetting one topic, but I think I covered enough for today. So take care. Peace out.